This is my fish room, or should I say what my fish room used to look like. There have been a lot of changes in the last few years, and I wanted to give an update onto what the fish room looks like now. We've had a lot of great changes in life. I've been able to open my dream retail store and share my favorite parts of this hobby and bring together the PetSmart feel with mom and pop feel. So hopefully you can come along and see the state of the fish room now, turning it in from this to this, and hopefully a little bit better, making it a mess again, turning it into this. So come follow me along for this journey. Hey everyone, so we're here in the fish room, which doesn't really look like the fish room anymore. So today starts the day that I am retaking this space up, rebuilding the fish room, and kind of going over what's been happening, how the fish room gets in this state, and plans for the future. So the only fish left in the fish room are these Bozeman eye rainbows that I couldn't get rid of in one of the Gary Lang strains. I forget which ones. But even if they weren't, they're really pretty and a good size, and rainbows take a long time to grow. I'm sure that if I try to breed these guys, they would breed again for me. But everything else has been sold off at the store, so we don't have a lot going on right now. A lot of cleaning to do, a lot of resetting to do. So basically what I'm going to be doing is starting the fish room over again. So I'm thinking of starting with 3 racks, and I have a lot of cleaning to do. And I'll talk a little bit about how the fish room gets in this state. So I'll keep the camera focused on the fish just while I go over everything. And it's interesting to see in this tank, there's a ton of mulm on the bottom here, and the fish are doing all right. I got 2 sponge filters in here. Although the tank looks filthy, the fish are thriving and doing well. The auto water change system hasn't been on in months. The water is evaporating, but they're doing really well in here. The plants, the only plants that are in here, the Anubias. But basically, you guys know I was looking for a warehouse space to move the fish. So as most of you know, I have the store location, and that's been great and busy and taking a lot of my time. And the store's been open 3 years now, and in that time I was unable to find a space close to the store that I'd be able to move the fish in. So here in this location, this is actually my parents' house, and I haven't lived here in almost 3 years now. So it became very difficult to work the store and then come to my parents' house. It was easier when I lived here. When I lived here, I would be able to just walk downstairs and take care of everything in the morning. I came back home at night, take care of everything at night. Just became impossible with the store schedule and everything going on. So I kind of decided to take a break from the fish room, focus on the store, and now that I have a little bit more free time and I'm really missing this hobby and missing the fish room, I'm going to work my way back in, start here with the 3 racks and kind of build a starting point, get some fish back. I do have fish at the store that I kept. I have the super red angels, and I want to buy back some of my other stock of guppies, angelfish, plecos, get those going in a couple tanks here while I search aggressively with a new real estate agent for a fish room space very close to the store. A lot of the benefits of having a space that's not my parents' home is I could send employees there. Another problem with this space was I could only go myself, and I couldn't send employees. Well, I'm getting distracted by this guy. I've always had this girl she's probably like 3 years old now. She's got that bent spine, but she's been doing good. She eats, she swims. Obviously, I take her out if I'm trying to breed or collect eggs. I don't think she would be able to breed anyway, but she's been around with this batch since I bought them, and she's doing all right. No need to cull her. If I could just take her and move her when we're breeding. But yeah, the goal is to be able to have I don't know, 200, 300 tanks and really get back into it and have employees help me and get that going. About half my tanks are in a storage unit right now, so I have another 60 tanks in a storage unit that I'm excited to move to a new location. So here's the project for today. Having built this fish room once already and having it run for a couple years, I know what I would do differently. One of the main issues I had was I was trying to maximize the space, make it look really clean. So I put the racks as close to the wall as possible. But behind the racks, there's a ton of different plumbing, the air valves, all the tubing, back there. And the whole thing's a mess. It's a mess. And I can't even get back there. So any work I'd have to do, I would get on a step stool, reach over, or I would put my hands through and try to plug in new heaters or whatever I needed. And it's probably not the safest thing either. So I would like the racks to be off the wall that I could walk behind and comfortably work. If I needed to adjust plumbing, if there's a leaky tank, if I need to add something, I could do it from behind there and it'll look clean from the front. So I'm thinking of moving this rack, which the door, it can't come out. So move this rack over, move these two kind of forward and take that one off the wall a little bit. Have a nice clean L like at the store. It'll look pretty and the tanks will be near each other, and then I could just walk around here and walk behind there and work if I needed. And then I can move some of these racks over. I got to clean up this space. It's a disaster. The commercial dehumidifier did its work and had the water all evaporate. That's what all this stuff is like duckweed and stuff that as the water drained with the dehumidifier and kind of just died out. And I hope I could get this off the glass. This is I'm not looking forward to that. But I'd like to be able to have all that access, have this where I'm not kind of in the corner here, and really just use this space properly. After a few hours, I feel like I got a lot done, but looking at it, doesn't really look like it. Moved all the boxes and the tanks up top off here. I need help. I need to stop for the night and get some help to move these 75s. Made some space for them over here that they could just kind of chill out over there for however long. I did clean 2 tanks, the 10 gallons. Looking new, much different than looking like these. So that'll be a couple tanks a day kind of thing, or hire a bunch of people to just help me one day clean all these out, rinse them out, get all that dried. I thought this would be harder to get off, but it's just like algae that once it hits water, it comes off. And like some of the plants are just coming right off when I get them wet again. Got one of the racks removed. Got really clean under here. Not so bad for being 5 years under a bunch of fish tanks. You get leaks once in a while. Got to get new pieces of wood for some of these pieces. The 75s definitely did leak a lot because they weren't drilled. But I'm going to clean this up. Going to get these, hopefully be able to move everything and just place everything today. Alright, so I've got one rack that is ready to go. In doing that, I made a complete disaster of this room. Moved all the tanks. I have to clean them, reset them. You can see all the different things. I had the tubing, the airline, all the extension cords. So this whole back area was a complete mess, but I went ahead, I scrubbed the floors, I cleaned up everything. I'm still reorganizing, but the whole idea of this layout now with the rack kind of coming out is for any kind of maintenance or anything, I could just walk behind here now and work on it. I do have one tank set up with the rainbows in it. Did some algae scrubbing. Big water change. You can see all the detritus that has to come out. But I think I'm going to use this to start kickstarting some of the tanks. But you can see now, this is still a mess, but it's very easy access to all the plumbing. So the plumbing should be a lot cleaner, the airline and everything, once I hook it up correctly, everything's just kind of thrown right now, will be a lot easier to access. And then I'll move this rack up and it'll just be one nice L shape. Starting to put some tanks up. I do have a whole video on how I drilled all these tanks with the overflow system. Starting to run some airline, but it's coming together, you know, making a huge mess, rebuilding part of the fish room anyway. You can see it's starting to make its way. I'm going to do all 10s up here, 20s. Playing with some kind of like indoor pond idea over here. Not sure yet what I'm going to do, but I got to do the lighting again. I've got to do the airline tubing again, but it's coming together. So I think I'll end things there. Kind of end on the rainbow fish going crazy for some vibrobites, making a huge mess. Obviously I need to clean up this tank a little bit more. But thanks for sticking around this long to the end of the video. I'm going to keep on building up the fish room, so keep an eye out for upcoming videos. I'm definitely ordering a lot of fish. I already have some waiting at the store. And they're just waiting for the tanks to cycle here. So that's my motivation to really get things going.